You ever see girls take pictures and they got their little tongue out and their tongue look all white? Yeah, that's how you can tell who don't be brushing their tongue. Don't be that girl. Hey girl, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Trinity if you're new here. Today we're going to be discussing all things feminine hygiene. Things you might not want to talk to your friends, your mom, whoever about. We're going to discuss today. So if you're interested in hearing all of my hygiene tips, just keep on watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, especially if this is not your first time here. And let's get right into the tips. Hygiene tip number 1, double cleanse when you take showers. This is something that I learned a few years ago. Growing up, I had sensitive skin, so I really only used Dove soap. But as I got older, I started to just use like body wash or whatever. And then I found out a few years ago that you really should use a soap when you first get in the shower and not a body wash, because body washes don't really cleanse you. They're more so for like moisturizing your body and adding that nice scent to your body. But you need an actual soap for your first cleanse. I like to use regular bar soap, so like Dove. I'll use the regular one or the sensitive skin one. I also like the Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. They have a lot of different scents for those. I like to use the original one. I like to use the peppermint one. I've also tried, I think, like the baby one. But you really want to make sure you're using an actual cleansing soap to really cleanse your body before you just add on that moisturizing, smell good body wash. Tip number 2, which actually kind of goes with number 1, when you're using your cleansing soap, really when you're using your body wash too, but especially when you're using your cleansing soap, you want to make sure you're spending a good amount of time on the areas that hold odor or the areas that you sweat a lot in. So for example, when I clean my underarms in the shower, I'm scrubbing them way longer than I'm scrubbing other body parts. Like my underarms will get more time than my actual arm. My underarms get more time than my legs because they hold odor, they hold sweat. And sometimes when you're cleaning under there, you gotta like sniff it. If you don't know if you've cleaned it long enough, smell under there after you're done cleaning and see if you can still smell your deodorant. If you can still smell your deodorant, you're not done. You need to keep on scrubbing. Sometimes I'll even take my exfoliant. I like to use the Tree Hut scrubs. I also like the Way body scrub, but the Tree Hut scrub especially for like under my arms because it's a little more like abrasive. But I like to take my scrubs and really like scrub under there if I'm not using an exfoliating washcloth, which is what I use most of the time. But if I just happen to be using a regular washcloth because maybe I threw out my exfoliating washcloth and I haven't gotten a chance to go get a new one, then I make sure I take an actual scrub and scrub under my arms. This just ensures that you get all of that old deodorant off, all the sweat, anything that may be under there, you're scrubbing it off. Not even just under your arms though. Like you want to do this in all the areas that harbor a lot of sweat and odor. So even up in your butt crack, you want to make sure you're getting up there and cleaning it real good and spending a good amount of time. Otherwise, you might have odor. Tip number 3, when it comes to cleaning your girl down there, your downstairs area, you want to make sure you're using your hands, not a washcloth. Use your hands, make sure your hands are clean, and do not clean her with scented soaps. I know people like to say you can just use water and that's good enough. I personally don't like that. I'm sorry, I just don't. I just feel like water is not cleansing, and they say that it self cleanses, but yeah, that's on the inside. We're not talking about the inside. You don't want to put anything up there, like nothing goes up there. But as far as like the outside of the area, I feel like you got to use something other than water. That's just my opinion. You want to make sure you're using something that is unscented and something that is nice and sensitive. I'll give you a few examples of things that I have used or still do use down there, just in case you're wondering and you're just in the market for something to use on your lady parts. Unscented Dove soap works. Castile soap, like the baby one, I feel like the baby one is really good. I recently started using the same baby wash that I use to wash my son up every night. I'll put a picture of it right here. It's the Dove Baby Hypoallergenic Wash. And honestly, I feel like out of everything I've used, I feel the most fresh when I use that. It's unscented. It works for babies, so it's good for sensitive areas, sensitive skin. It doesn't make my skin feel really dry down there. But as far as actual feminine washes, I like the VH Essentials Feminine Wash. I was using that for a really long time, probably like 2 to 3 years maybe. Any product that I mention in this video, I will link down below. So if you're interested in trying that VH Essentials or any of the other products, just head down to the description box. Everything is down there. Tip number 4 is to keep wipes on you at all times. Not to just use wipes, but keep them on you at all times. So first off, I keep wipes in my house. I like to use the Cottonelle wipes because they are flushable. I use wipes when I do a number 1 and when I do a number 2. Now when I use them when I do a number 1, I do still use tissue after that because you don't want to be just carrying all that moisture. I don't want to feel like wet down there when I'm getting up. So still going with tissue after that, but you do want to use wipes just so that you feel fresh throughout the day. And definitely when you're doing a number, because I mean, why not? I spoke about this before, but we don't use toilet paper on babies, so I don't know why we're expected as adults to only use toilet paper. It doesn't do anything. Like, you know how many times you gotta like really wipe with toilet paper to really make sure that everything is clear down there? So just use wipes. Like I said, if you want to go on with tissue after, then do that, but make sure you're using wipes. And then I say keep wipes on you because you never know what's going to happen throughout the day, and you want to be prepared, and you also just want to feel fresh. And I got the perfect thing to show y'all. If you don't want to carry around like an actual pack of wipes, I got something to show you. I recently discovered these. These are sensitive wipes for intimate parts, body, and face by Honey Pot, and this is what I love about them. They're little singles, so you can just throw them in your purse or whatever. I have some that I keep in my glove compartment in my car. Like I said, if you don't want to carry around like a whole pack of wipes, I know I like to carry small purses, and a pack of wipes does not always fit in my purse. These are perfect. Those are not only good for your downstairs area, but like I said, they are for your intimate parts, body, and face. So you can use them to freshen up like under your arms throughout the day, because I know there are some girls who like to like reapply deodorant as the day goes on, and you don't want to be applying deodorant over already stink areas. So make sure you're wiping under your arm before you reapply. Otherwise, you're just putting deodorant over stink, and that don't really make that much sense. Tip number 5, use panty liners. They are there in that section with the pads for a reason. I feel like nobody ever really stressed to me the importance or the significance of using panty liners growing up, but I love them. I keep panty liners in my bathroom at all times. Like whenever I'm buying pads, I'm buying panty liners. They're perfect for helping you to stay dry all day. You don't want to be walking around sitting in a bunch of moisture. Discharge is normal. We all experience it, but in order to make sure your panties stay nice and clean and nice and dry throughout the day, just use a panty liner. Especially, what do we like to call it? The barbecue sauce phase of your period. Yeah, you know those last couple days, like when you're really not on your period no more, but you're not completely in the clear? Yeah, you can use panty liners. Don't think just because you're not like really flowing no more, you can just walk around with just your panties. No. Number 6, cotton panties. Especially if you're not wearing panty liners. You want to make sure you're wearing cotton panties, because anything else will harbor moisture, and that is how we get yeast infections. Like I said, you don't want to be sitting in wetness all day. That is not good at all. So make sure you're wearing cotton breathable panties. And if they are not cotton on the outside, you want to make sure that area that your girl sits in is cotton. Next, number 7, don't sleep in panties. Now when you're on your cycle, that's a little bit different. But yeah, if you're not on your cycle, don't sleep in panties. Let your girl breathe. Let her get a little bit of air. Let her air out a little bit, you know. You can go commando for a few hours. It's okay. Next, number 8, drink water, because your water intake and your diet does affect what you smell like. And I'm not even just talking about down there, because I feel like we hear that all the time, like how you smell and how you taste. Down there has a lot to do with what you eat and how much water you drink, but that really goes for your whole entire body. Like the odor that you give off has a lot to do with what you eat and how much water you drink. It also affects what your breath smells like on the regular, but we'll get into that in a minute. You want to make sure you're staying hydrated. You want to make sure that you're not eating a whole bunch of like oniony and garlicky foods, and if you are, drink a whole lot of water so that you can flush that stuff out of your system. Because honestly, you can do all these other hygiene tips all you want, but if you're not watching what you're putting into your body, it might not change anything depending on what you're struggling with. There's a lot of the smells that be going on with a lot of women are internal. You have the best hygiene routine in the world, but if you're not watching what you're putting in your body, it doesn't even matter. Number 9, getting into oral hygiene. You want to make sure you are flossing. Use a water pick or actual floss. Because I've learned from my dentist that a lot of people brush and they think that they're doing the best job because they brush their teeth every day or twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever. But if you're not flossing, it doesn't really matter, because brushing all day long and not flossing will not prevent you from getting cavities, because there is such thing as getting cavities in between your teeth. You got to think about all the food that you're eating throughout the day and how food really gets stuck up in your teeth without you even knowing. Just because you look in the mirror and you don't see food all up in your teeth and all up in your mouth, that doesn't mean that it's not there. There is probably food in between your teeth if you ate today. So make sure you're flossing. Because having a cavity in between your teeth is probably worse than just having a regular cavity, because now you got a cavity in 2 teeth. So nobody feel like paying for what comes with it. And last but not least, make sure you are using a tongue scraper. Don't just brush your tongue, because I know people be saying, oh, I brush my teeth and I brush my tongue. No, make sure you're actually using a tongue scraper. When I brush my teeth, I brush my tongue just to like loosen up whatever might be on my tongue. And then I go on with an actual tongue scraper to get that stuff off, because a lot of bad breath comes from your tongue. You can brush your teeth all day long, you can floss, but if you're not using a tongue scraper, you're not really doing all you can. It's very important. You ever see girls take pictures and they got their little tongue out and their tongue look all white? Yeah, that's how you can tell who don't be brushing their tongue. Don't be that girl. Scrape that tongue. I like to use the disposable tongue scrapers from Target. I'll link them down below. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed all these hygiene tips. If you learned something new today, just comment down below which number was new for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.